विनय निकर लक्ष्मी निम्न में नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्य च वक्षसे यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित्तं हम अहम भजे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Should I start?
Yes.
Okay, so today we are celebrating the ecstatic appearance day of Srivasa Thakur. Every day we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Srivasa Thakur is a very important member of the Panchatattva. Like every member of the Panchatattva is important. But we see that Srivasa Thakur, we worship him for many reasons that we see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Adi Leela and the Bhakta Avataram Bhakta Akhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. That and the members of the Panchatattva, each of them their different manifestations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srivasa Thakur represents all the bhaktas, all the devotees. Srivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Srivasa Thakur represents all the other Gaura bhaktas. He represents them all. So today we are celebrating the appearance of Srivasa Thakur, and he appeared before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is more like in the generation of his father, and he was he was a very pure devotee of Krishna right from birth. We can see that Srivasa Thakur, he was amongst the few devotees who were practicing pure Krishna consciousness before the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So every time Lord Chaitanya would see Srivasa Thakur, every time he would see Srivasa Thakur walk down the street, then Lord Chaitanya would offer his humble obeisances to him. And then, I wanted to read a certain section of the Chaitanya Bhagavata. It's always a good idea to have Chaitanya Bhagavata. So we see this over here. Let's see. Prabhu Sange Yahara Deka Hai Parama Adara Kari Sabha Sambhashai. The Lord spoke with great respect to everyone he met. Prata Kale Yabe Prabhu Chale Ganga Snane Vaishnava Sabha Sange Haya Darshane. When the Lord went in the morning to take bath in the Ganges, he met many Vaishnavas on the way. Srivasadi Dekile Thakur Namaskare Priti Haya Bhakta Gana Ashirvada Kare. As soon as the Lord saw Srivas or other devotees, he offered them obeisances, and the devotees blessed the Lord out of love. Tomara Hauku Bhakti Krishna Charane Mukha Krishna Bala Krishna Shunaha Shravane. Srivasa Thakur would bless Lord Chaitanya and he would say, "May you obtain devotion at the lotus feet of Krishna. Chant and hear the names of Krishna. Krishna Bajile se Bap Sabha Satya Hai. Krishna Bajile Roop Vidya Kichunai." My dear, if you worship Krishna, everything will be successful. And if you do not worship Krishna, then your beauty and education are useless. Krishna sa Jagat Pita, Krishna se Jivan, Vrida Kari Bhajak Bapa, Krishna Charan. Krishna is the father of the universe, and Krishna is the life and soul of everyone. Therefore, my dear, worship the lotus feet of Krishna with determination. That's what Srivasa Thakur would tell him. Ashirvada Shuniya Prabhu Bada Shuka, Sabare Chahena Prabhu Tuliya Shri Mukha. The Lord was greatly pleased with their blessing, so he cast his merciful glance on them. So Lord Chaitanya was very pleased with Srivasa Thakur's blessing. And then he says, then Srivasa Thakur, then he tells Srivasa Thakur, Tomara se kaha satya kari ashirvad, Tomara va kena an kari va prasad. All your blessings are certainly fruitful. Why would you give any other lesser blessings? And to this, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the word ana refers to that which is not related to, which is opposed to, or which is unfavorable to Krishna's devotional service. Then he says, there is a very amazing purport. The next verse. Tomara se par Krishna bhajana dibare, dasera sevile Krishna anugraha kare. You alone are capable of awarding devotional service to Krishna. For Krishna bestows his mercy on one who serves his servants. Now this is a very amazing purport. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, the second half of verse 41 and the first half of verse 43 are explained as follows. In the Itihasa Samuchaya, Lomasha Muni states, Tasmad Vishnu Prasadaya Vaishnavan Paritoshayat Prasada Samukho Vishnus Tenaiva Syan Nasamshayaha. To attain the mercy of Lord Vishnu, one should satisfy the Vaishnavas. There is no doubt that by their mercy, Vishnu will be pleased. Although in the Itihasa Samuchaya, the Supreme Lord says, Name Bhakta Shatur Vedi Mad Bhakta Swapachav Priyaha Tasmai Deyam Tato Grahyam Sacha Pujo Yatahyaham. Even though a person is a very learned scholar of the Sanskrit literatures, he is not accepted as my devotee unless he is pure in devotional service. Even though a person is born in a family of dog eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy fruitive activities or mental speculation. Indeed, all respect should be given to him. Whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotees are as worshipful as I am. In the Adi Purana it is stated, Yane Bhakta Janaf Partha Name Bhakta Te Janaha Mad Bhakta Anam Cha Ye Bhaktas Te Me Bhakta Tamamataha. Lord Krishna told Arjuna, those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but those who are the devotees of my servants are factually my devotees. At the end of the narration of Yagyamala in Brihad Naradiya Purana, it is stated, Hari Bhakti Ratan Yastu Hari Buddhya Prapu Jayat Tasya Tushyanti Viprendra Brahma Vishnu Shivadayaha. O best of the Brahmanas, if one worships the Vaishnavas who are fixed in devotional service to Vishnu by considering them non-different bodily limbs of Sri Hari, then everyone including Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are pleased. In the Padma Purana, Uttarakanda, Shiva speaks to Uma as follows. Archayitva tu Govindam tadiya narchayat tu yaha nasa bhagavato gneya kevalam dambhika smritaha tasmat sarva prayatnena Vaishnavan pujayat sada. One who worships Lord Govinda but fails to worship his devotee should be understood to be not a devotee of the Lord but simply a victim of false pride. Therefore, one should always worship the Vaishnavas by all means. And, there's a few more verses that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes here. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11.26.34, Lord Krishna speaks to Uddhava as follows. Santo dishanti chakshumshi mahir arka samuttitaha devata bandava santa atmaham evacha. My devotees bestow divine eyes, whereas the sun allows only external sight, and that only when it is risen in the sky. My devotees are once real worshipable deities and real family. They are my own self, and ultimately they are non-different from me. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32, Prahlad Maharaj speaks to Hiranyakashipu as follows. Naisha mati savadurukramangrim svashya shadanta pagamo yadartaha mahi yasham rajapado abhishekam nishkinchananam navinita yavat. Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, in this way, one can be freed from material contamination. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.63, 66 and 68, the Supreme Lord speaks to Durvasa as follows. Shri Bhagavan Ovacha Aham Bhakta Paradhino Hya Swatantra Iva Dvija Sadhubhir Grasa Hridayo Bhaktar Bhakta Jana Priyaha. I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires, I sit only within the course of their hearts. What to speak of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me. It's amazing. Mai nirbadda hridaya sadhava samadarshanaha vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya sastriya satpatim yata. As chaste women bring their genital husbands under control by service, the pure devotees who are equal to everyone and completely attached to me in the core of their heart bring me under their full control. And then the famous verse, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhanam hridayam tvaham mad anyat tane jananti naham tebhyo managapi. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotee know anything else but me, and I do not know anything else but them. And this is the last verse that's quoted here. The Srimad Bhagavatam 10.51.53, Muchukunda speaks to Krishna as follows. Bhava pavargo brahmato yada bhavej janasya tarhyachyuta sat samagamaha satsangamo yarhi tadaiva sadgata. When the material life of a wandering soul is ceased, O Achyuta, he may attain the association of your devotees. And when he associates with them, there awakens in him devotion to you, unto you, who are the goal of the devotees and the Lord of all effects. So, anyway, there's so much more that can be read, but we're running out of time, so I'll speak a little bit more. So, Srivasa Thakur is so amazing that that Lord Chaitanya is blessing, is begging for the blessings of Srivasa Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, quoting so many verses, makes a point that one can only attain devotional service to Krishna when he is blessed by the devotee. Otherwise, there is no hope. A person who worships Krishna but does not respect his devotees is known as the Kanishta Adhikari, and he is only someone doing it out of false pride. So Srivasa Thakur is such an important person, and he is very, very attached to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya performed many amazing pastimes in Srivasa Thakur's house. It's known as Srivasa Sangam. And in Srivasa Sangam, Lord Chaitanya would do many nocturnal kirtans. He would do kirtan all night. As the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement actually happened in the house of Srivasa Thakur, where in Srivasa Thakur's house, Lord Chaitanya would go and he would dance with all his associates all night. And one time, the doors would be shut and other people would not be allowed. So one time Srivasa Thakur's mother-in-law was sitting, and she hid herself somewhere in the house, and she wanted to see the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, while he was dancing, he stopped the dancing and he said that, I think some non-devotees here, because I do not feel the same ecstasy I usually feel. Then they discovered the entire house, and Srivasa Thakur found his mother-in-law, and he held her by the head and threw her out. Said, "You're disturbing the ecstasy of Lord Chaitanya. Get out of here." Wow. Similarly, one time there was a brahmachari, and he was very proud of drinking only milk. He would only sustain on drinking milk. So he begged Srivasa Thakur and he said, "Please let me come in the kirtans of Lord Chaitanya. I really want to see him dance." And he somehow begged Srivasa Thakur, and Srivasa Thakur is a very soft-hearted Vaishnava. So he lets him come in. Again, same thing happens, and Lord Chaitanya asks, "Is there any disturbance? Why is there so much disturbance here? I think it's a non-devotee." He said, "No, there's only a strict brahmachari who only drinks milk." And Lord Chaitanya becomes very angry. And he almost is at the verge of beating this brahmachari, and he tells him, "Do you think I'm so cheap that you can attain me just by drinking milk?" And he asks him to leave. The brahmachari leaves, and instead of being all angry and puffed up, he was feeling very fortunate. "I'm so fortunate that I got chastised by Lord Chaitanya." And he starts to worship the Supreme Lord in his heart. And then Lord Chaitanya calls him back and gives him his mercy. So many important pastimes happen in Srivasa Sangam. Another time, Srivasa Thakur is hosting Lord Chaitanya, and they're having a very ecstatic pastime, ecstatic kirtan. And then Lord Chaitanya, he continues his service, and then Srivasa Thakur hears some lamentation sound in his house, and then he wonders what's going on. So he goes and sees that Srivasa Thakur's only son, he dies, and all the women of the house are crying. And he says, "You stop crying." Lord Chaitanya is performing his ecstatic transcendental pastimes. "You stop crying." And then the women, they're unable to stop crying. Then he says, "Keep quiet, you stupid woman." He says that. Srivasa Thakur says that because if you don't stop crying right now, I will go and drown myself in the Ganga. So what if one son dies? Why should we stop the ecstasy of Lord Chaitanya? So then they stop crying, and the kirtan goes on. And in the end, Lord Chaitanya, he says that there seems to be something wrong. What's going on? And then all the devotees assemble there, tell Lord Chaitanya that in the beginning of the kirtan, Lord Chaitanya, Srivasa Thakur's only son died. He said, "Why didn't anyone inform me?" He said Srivasa Thakur was restraining us from telling you this. Then Lord Chaitanya asked Srivasa Thakur, my dear Srivas, why did you stop? Why did you not tell me about this? And Srivasa Thakur says, my dear Lord, I didn't want it to come in the way of your ecstasy. And Lord Chaitanya becomes so pleased. He says that, my devotees are so kind that they are willing to undergo so many tribulations and suffering on my behalf. My devotees are so kind. So then he goes to the place where the son died. He keeps his head in the son's body and brings the soul back. And he asks him, you see, you're in the house of Srivasa Thakur, such a pure devotee of Krishna. Why did you want to leave? He says, my dear Lord, I died in the middle of your kirtan. That means I was on my way to Vaikuntha. But you call me back. And I was born in this family because of my karma, and now my time is up and I have to leave. So then, Lord Chaitanya lets him leave, and then he tells his wife Malati that, my dear Malini. He tells his wife Malini, and he tells Srivasa Thakur, today you lost one son, but you got two, because from now on, Nityananda Prabhu and myself are your sons. So Srivasa Thakur is so qualified that he has Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda has his sons. That's a great lineup to have as your children, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So he has them as he tells, now you accept me and Nityananda Prabhu as your sons. So Srivasa Thakur, he becomes very happy. And then Lord Nityananda stays in the house of Srivasa Thakur. And then he starts acting like he's he's like a young boy. And then although Malini was very, very old, then because of Lord Nityananda, she would breastfeed Lord Nityananda, treating him like he's a little boy. Who can understand the pastimes of Lord Nityananda? Who can understand? But she would, breastfeed Lord Nityananda and treat him like a small child. And he would, I don't want to get into that whole thing. But Lord Nityananda would give his mother a hard time sometimes, like sons do usually. And Srivasa Thakur, he facilitates all the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And in his house, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed the Mahaprakash Leela, where he showed everyone that he is Mahavishnu. It's very amazing, actually. Maybe someday we can speak about that also. It's a very ecstatic part of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And he would go on like this. He would perform all these pastimes in Srivasa Thakur's house, and he bestowed his cosmic mercy on Srivasa Thakur. And then one time, Lord Chaitanya is with Srivasa Thakur, and he asks him, my dear Srivas, you're a householder, right? Says, yes, I'm a householder. I never see you work. What are you doing? I never see you work. The whole time you're worshipping your deities, you're like, you're doing this, doing that. And if you get any money, immediately you give it to all the brahmacharis and all the other devotees. You always give it to all of them. I never see you work. I never see you do anything to maintain your family. You should change this. And he puts Shivananda, and Lord Chaitanya is asking, what does mean? What does that mean? And he tells him, my dear Lord, if within the time of my 3 claps the Lord doesn't give me everything that I want, then I will fast for one day. Then again I will fast for another day. But on the 3rd day, if he doesn't give me anything, then I will go and drown myself along with my entire family in Ganga. So Lord Chaitanya becomes so pleased with him that he tells him, my dear Srivas, even if Lakshmi Devi has to go door to door begging, you will never find a shortage of anything in your home. Such is the faith of Srivasa Thakur. That he gives Srivasa Thakur such an amazing benediction. That even if this has to happen, even if, you'll never have to worry about anything. And he said that everyone in your house, all living, and they all get love of God. Even the cats and the dogs who wander around your house, they all get love of God. They all get love of God. And Lord Chaitanya is so pleased with Srivasa Thakur that although he doesn't do anything really to maintain himself, he never had a job, he never did any business or anything like that. Still, Lord Chaitanya gave him the benediction to always serve him and never worry about anything. And we can see also, I don't mean to embarrass both of you, but we are in Apurva Prabhu's house. Apurva Prabhu never got a job in his life, neither did Kamalini Mataji. They spent their whole life only serving Srila Prabhupada. And by doing so, you see, everything is provided for them. Everything is provided for them by Krishna himself. By Krishna himself. Krishna is so kind. Krishna is taking care. And the same blessing that Lord Chaitanya gave Srivasa Thakur, we can see a part of that blessing here also. Everything is here. You know what deficiency is there in this regard? Simply go on serving Krishna. People are like, oh well, this person is a grihastha, that person is a grihastha. But can you set the example that they are setting? That's the real question to ask. So this is the blessing of Srivasa Thakur upon them. He's so kind. And we inaugurated the spiritual festivals, the BMSE from this house. We can see. The first time we went to a BMSE, it was because of Kamalini Mataji's recommendation.
What's BMSE?
Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. It was because of Kamalini Mataji's recommendation. We came and we inaugurated it from here. So that was the inauguration of the Sankirtan movement.
Sorry, because this book's obstacles, so he's saying working is often an obstacle. So he's fallen to Maya.
So Kamalini Mataji asking me to read this. Another alternative is to engage in full-time Krishna conscious preaching. To cite an example, Apurva Prabhu and his wife Kamalini run a small vegetarian restaurant in Lansing, Michigan, where they also sell Prabhupada's books. They manage and support themselves and their children by this enterprise. Krishna helps them and they make their maintenance money while engaged as full-time preachers. This does not mean those who work all other trades are in Maya. Krishna will be the most pleased according to the devotee's sincerity, which may be displayed in many different work situations. But before choosing a means of livelihood, a devotee ought to consider all the instructions given by Srimad Bhagavatam and Srila Prabhupada. Try to find something which does not make you miserable and perform it as a sacrifice for pleasing Lord Krishna. Prabhupada refers to this as a great art of doing work, and he indicates that any labor undertaken not for sense gratification but for the satisfaction of Krishna will bring the right result. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work but also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 3.9 purport. It's amazing. It's so true. It's so true. So we are seeing the same blessing is there. The blessing of Srivasa Thakur is here upon Apurva Prabhu and his wife. See, that is the ideal, living as Brahmana. So we also see in another place in Srivasa Thakur's house, this Jacob, you really like this one, that they were, all the devotees, they were doing kirtan, and sometimes they would do kirtan for 3 to 6 months. Continuous kirtan. Yeah, non-stop, no stopping. Kirtan, 6-month kirtan, that's amazing. Imagine how ecstatic that must be. So one time like this, after doing some extended kirtan, devotees were very hungry. Lord Chaitanya said, get me a mango. So then they got Lord Chaitanya a mango, and then Lord Chaitanya took the seed from the mango and planted it in the soil. And immediately a tree came out. And from that tree came out the most amazing juicy mangoes, which didn't have any skin nor any seed. And you could eat those mangoes to your heart's content. And you get Krishna Prema by doing so.
Oh my God.
So it is very amazing. It is very amazing actually. It's very amazing. It is the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So similarly, Lord Chaitanya, very kindly planted through the agency of his Guru Parampara, planted the seed of devotion in the hearts of so many conditioned souls. Lord Chaitanya is so kind. So by distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada, we are doing the same thing. We are planting those seeds. And then all of a sudden, then there will be trees which give fruits, tasty mangoes without any skin or any seed. And we should do this more and more. And distributing Bhagavatam is like distributing the mango that grew in Srivasa Sangam. So we are short on time, so I'll end the class over here. If there's any questions or comments, we can take them now.
Oh yeah, you mentioned about Lord Nityananda and Malini, and how he would sit on her lap and he would breastfeed, like you said. So that's pretty amazing. And he was in his 30s, in his late 30s. And Lord Chaitanya would tell him, don't act like a madman here, and all. But yeah. That's amazing pastime.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Anything else?
Bro, you said it all.
Okay, John. You propose everything? Janu, you have anything? Alright. Srivasa Thakur ki jai.